Good morning. Welcome to the class on quantitative techniques and operation research. Guys, this is our session number two. This is our session number two. Yesterday, we had introductory class where we try to understood the concept of operation research, what operation research is all about. We try to understood under what condition this subject came into the picture. So probably there was a time of Second World War when the world was under economic crisis situation, and during that time it was very obvious that the how Germany was dominating over the rest of the world, and Germany has already defeated France, and Germany had did a big mistake of attacking on Russia. That is the blunder what the Germany has done. If Germany would not have attacked uh, Russia, then better word Russia. There was no Russia that time. Maybe USSR or US. Probably, yeah. You can say USSR also came here after Second World War. So you can say Russia would be the better word. So if the Germany would not have attacked Russia, would have been different. So there was a memorandum of understanding between the Germany and the Russia. But in both the First World War and Second World War, Germany did more or less the same kind of mistake, and and at that time, probably when the Germany was getting more and more significant, it was very difficult for the England to come out of the crisis situation because they were under the continuous attack from Germany. So during that time, around 1940s, the military management of the England called the scientists of all the possible discipline, and they were talking about something which is called scarcity of resources. Under that scarcity of resources, how they can achieve optimality. So like optimality, probably in the context of military organization. So that was being discussed, and then this study which was being made during the era of the World War. So this study was being continued further also in manufacturing, and we called this study as a subject which we called as operation research. So when we look into operation research, when we work on uh, so uh, if you look into the operation research, and if you see how we work on the phase of operation research, so probably it is very important whenever we are looking into the aspect of operation research. We are doing a research in the sense that we need to find the solution. We have a crisis management. So, and we need to find the solution for that crisis management. And for that, we need the help of the subject called operation research. So this subject operation research altogether talks about optimality. It talks about how we can find the mathematical solution problem. Certain time, the same kind of limitation is being put for statistics. The same kind of limitation is being put for operation research, stating that it does not account qualitative data into factor. So you can that as a proportion that it may or may not consider qualitative data into expect. But if you know how the subject is being framed, so the first thing what we need to do when we work on operation research is to understand the problem, and based upon our understanding for the problem, we need to construct a mathematical model where we can stimulate the problem. We try to find out the solution for that problem by working on simulated model, and the solution what we get from that model can be applied in life scenario. That is what we need to do, and in order to do this, we take the help of mathematical equations. Okay, so probably when we get into operation research and we are trying to find the solution for the problem by constructing the mathematical model, this mathematical model what we talked about, it should represent the whole sequence of the event which may or may not impact the solution for the problem. And working on this model construction, we need to also look into the factors. Those factors can be variable, those factors can be constants and how they can capable into accommodation of all the changes if it happen in the future. That accommodation we need to look into that, and based upon that, once we have a problem and we are trying to find the solution for the problem, there are different techniques are there when we work on the solution of finding the given operation research problem. There are many techniques are there. One of the most prominent technique is called as linear programming. This is called as linear programming problem. So when we work on linear programming, in the case of linear programming, the first thing what we need to do, we need to define and function which we call as an objective function. So the first thing you need to look into, we call that as an objective function. So that objective function, when we write, we either write like this maxima of z, or we write like that minima of z. Okay, so maxima function you'll use in the objective function when is related to profit or revenue, and you use the minima function in the objective function when your data is related to the cost. So if you see this problem which we already discussed yesterday, so here you can see that they're given you the profit of M1 is 3 rupees, profit on M2 is 4 rupees. So on 1 unit of M1 you are getting 3 rupees, on 1 unit of M2 you are getting 4 rupees. So this part you can understand, and then it is given whatever is produced in a week is sold in the market. So here what you can do before you write your objective function, for every problem to define variable which we called as a decision variable. So here I can write decision variable is, suppose let x1. X1 is the unit of model M1. X1 is the unit of model M1. Okay, which is produced in a week because the data is limited to a week. And x2 is the unit of model M2. X2 is the unit of model M2, which is in a week, which is produced in a week. So here I'll define the problem by using these variables like x1 and x2, where x1 is the number of unit of model M1, which is produced in a week. So because what we are, our research is limited to weekly data. Okay, and 1 unit of x1 on 1 unit of model M1, I'm getting 3 rupees profit, and 1 unit of model M2, I'm getting 4 rupees profit. So I can write my objective here because the data is related to profit. So I'll use maxima function. If it is related to cost, then I'll use minima function. So I'll write maxima of z is equal to 3x1 plus 4x2. This would be my function where already I defined what is x1, what is x2. X1 number of unit of model M1 which I'm producing in a week, while x2 is the unit of model M2 producing in a week. So I hope you understood part x1, x2. So that my objective function here would be 3x1 plus 4x2. This part I think everyone would be clear with this. Then to continue further, what you write guys, you write after that subject to constraint. After that you write subject to constraint. You write to constraint. So subject to constraint, what are constraint you are having? So whenever you get a problem, you can see the problem, you can understand, you can analyze the problem what you have. So if you see here, in the problem, is there any constraint you can have? So you can see this, they're given each model one require 4 hours of grinding and 2 hours of polishing, where each model of M2 require 2 hours of grinding and 5 hours of polishing. So you can understand this part. So here, if you see the two activities are happening. One is grinding, and then you have the another activity called polishing. Two activities are happening where they are given you the data of M1 and M2, that each model of M1 require 4 hours of grinding and 2 hours of polishing, where they give you where each model of M2 require 2 hours of grinding and 5 hours of that data is given to you. So then what you can see, the company has three polisher, and each grinder is working 40 hours a week. So if each grinder works 40 hours a week, and if you have two grinder, so the maximum time you have per week, that would be 80 hours. And if each polisher works 60 hours a week, and if you have three polisher, then the maximum polishing activity you can do per week, that would be 180 hours. So based on this, guys, you can write an equation. So the constraint what you have grinding constraint, you have polishing constraint. So under grinding constraint, you can write 4x1 plus 2x2, that should be less than or equal to 80. You cannot use the grinding activity for more than 80 hours. You can max use 80 hour or lesser than 80 hour. Similarly, for polishing, you can write your constraint. So this is your manufacturing x1 unit of M1, x2 unit of M2. One unit require 2 hours of polishing, or one unit of M2 require 5 polishing. So you can write here 2x1 plus 5x2 is less than or equal to 180. And then at the last, you should write non-negativity restriction. At the last, whenever you end a problem, you should always write non-negativity restriction. So non-negativity restriction means whatever I am manufacturing, that should be positive value. In manufacturing setup, you cannot manufacture negative value, because you need to define this variable x1 and x2, because x1 x2 like you want them, right, to take, okay, you don't want them to take negative values. They cannot be integers. If they are integers, probably they should be non-negative integers. So you need to tell the mathematical function this part, and then on that basis you can probably get the equation for that. Now question, everyone this everyone try to solve this question. Try this problem, guys, everyone. Now see this problem, question number 2. A firm makes two type of furniture, chair and table. The contribution of each type of product is given to you. Okay, the contribution of each product is given to you. So contribution, I think you have that understanding that contribution, what is contribution? So in accounts, we say contribution means total revenue minus total variable cost. So total revenue minus total variable cost. In accounts, we call that as a contribution. So probably you can understand this is another word of profit only. I hope you can understand this part because you have done so much accounting. I think 5-6 months you studied accounting only. So I believe you have that knowledge very well. So the firm is manufacturing two types of furniture. They are manufacturing chair, they are manufacturing table. Okay, and they have given the word contribution. If engineering student or some other student can, if they have doubt with the word contribution, I can understand, but probably for you people it should not be any confusion. So contribution is more or less is the synonyms of profit. You can understand here. So because if they're talking about profit, then automatically your objective should be maxima. So because here they're talking about profit, so by default you can understand your objective here should be maxima. And here they've given you that for the chair, the profit they're given is 20 rupees, and for the table, the profit is given to you 30 rupees. So 20 rupees per chair and 30 rupees per table. So you can understand probably the profit here. Profit, if I look into the profit for the chair, it is 20 rupees per unit, and for the table it is 30 rupees. Any doubt, anyone? Okay, then both the product are processed on 3 machine. Here they are given you 3 machine, M1, M2, M3. Okay, the time required in hour by each product and the time available per week is given to you. Okay, so the time here, guys, be little bit vigilant about the unit. The time required, okay, is given in hour. This is an hour, and the total time is given also in hour. So means I don't have to convert any variable into any variable. Sometimes it happens that the time you require, time what is being utilized per unit is given in minute, and the total time is given in hour. So that time you need to convert the hour into minute or minute into hour. Okay, so be little bit vigilant about units. So here everything is in hours, so nothing to worry. And the total available time is given to you. So per week, again, the total available time per week is given to you. So means again here the research what you will do weekly research. Clear everyone? Then the question is that how should the manufacturer schedule his production in order to maximize the contribution? So here your objective function will be maximization. So I'll write my objective function maxima of z. Okay, now I'll write my objective function as maximization. I think this part everyone understands. Your objective function, whenever you see the problem, you need to understand what is your objective function. Is this maxima or is this a minima? So you can easily understand by reading the problem. Here your objective function is maxima. Once you understood that your objective function is maxima here, once you understood that, now the question arises, what should be your decision variable? So very easy thing, guys. To determine your decision variable, you see the data of what is given in the objective function. If you see the data of chair and table is given in the objective function, it is given that the profit what you are getting on chair, 1 unit of chair is 20 rupees. The profit what you are getting on 1 unit of table is 30 rupees. So here, if you understand, guys, the data what is given here, the data is given about the profit, and they have given you the profit of chair and table. So the data what they have given the data, like if you are confused between the decision variable, imagine if you are doing it first time, I can understand you would be confused that the sir has told to take decision variable. So I can take decision variable as chair or table, or should I take decision variable as machine M1, M2, M3, the production from them. So you need to understand, guys, the decision variable, what you need to consider here will be per unit per week, how many units of chair you are manufacturing per week, how many units of chair your table you are manufacturing. If I manufacture X1 unit of chair and X2 unit of table, then my objective function will be maxima of Z is equal to 20x1 plus 30x2. That will be my objective function. Anyone, any doubt? So in case if you get confused here with the objective function, it can happen with many people, because if there are three kinds of students who are listening to me. One kind of students may be trying, they're reading the problem and they have studied also this in their undergraduation. They are BCA students. In BCA in Bangalore City in fourth semester, there's subject called operation research. Already I have done video recording for BCA operation research and BCA numerical and statistical method. So if you have any juniors or younger sibling who are doing BCA, you can refer my videos to them of numerical statistical method and operation research. So there would be one kind of student who has studied this and they may be trying to solve the problem. There would be another kind of student who are not at all trying, and there would be third kind of student who want me to try. So in all the possible scenario, I need to try. So I try, I need to mention few things, that what would be your decision variable. The biggest concern what comes in your mind, that what would be the decision variable. So for determining what would be your decision variable, guys, just see the data of objective function. The objective function is given about chair and table, and they're given you the profit of chair and the profit of table. So automatically your objective function here to work on your decision variable will be, let X1 is the unit of the chair which I'm manufacturing per week. X2 is the unit of table which I'm manufacturing per week. So my total objective function will be maxima of Z, which is equal to 20x1 plus 30x2. Is this clear, everyone? So once you understood the objective function, guys, once that objective function is clear to you, then you need to just write the equation. Then it become very easy. Then you write subject to constraint. What all constraint you have? Subject to constraint. This S dot T means subject to constraint. What all subject to constraint you let me write it down only. So subject to constraint. So subject to constraint. So the subject to constraint, what all constraint you have, subject to constraint, what all constraint you have, you can see, guys, for machine M1 per week can only work 36 hours. So you can write 3x1 plus 3x2 is less than equal to 36. Second equation, you can write 5x1 plus 2x2, that would be less than or equal to 50. The third equation will be 2x1 plus 6x2 is less than or equal to 60. And the last thing, you will write non-negativity restriction, that your x1 and x2 should be greater than or equal to 0. That's it. This will be your equation. Anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? Fine, can we go to the next question? Do this problem. Everyone try this problem, question number 3rd. Now, in this problem, the company manufactured two product A and B. This product are processed in same machine. Okay, it takes 10 minutes to process of product A and 2 minutes to process 1 unit of product B, and the machine operate maximum 35 hours in a week. You can see here guys the data, this is in hour, and if you see this is in minutes. So what you need to do, you need to convert 35 hour into minute. Total time here it would be 35 hour. So I'll convert into minute. 1 hour is equal to 60 minute. So 6 5 the 33 carry 2100 minute. This would be the total time. Then the product A require 1 kg and B require 0.5 raw material per unit, and the supply of which is 600 kg per week. Again, the analysis what we are doing weekly analysis. Market constraint on B is known to minimum of 800 unit per week. That there's so much demand for B that minimum 800 unit you need to manufacture. Product A cost 5 rupees per unit and sold at 10 rupees. Product B cost 6 rupees per unit, sold at 8 rupees. Okay, so determine the number of unit of A and B which you need to manufacture to maximize the profit. What is your objective function here, guys? Maximizing the, so the objective function here is maximize profit. Objective function here is maximizing the profit. That is your objective function. Your objective function here is the maximize profit. I think everyone understand this. Your objective function here is maximizing the profit. That is your objective function. The objective you have is maximizing the profit. Clear, everyone? I hope this part, everyone. And then what they have given, then the question arises, yes sir, I understood that the objective function is maximizing the profit. Then the question arises, sir, what should be my decision variable, sir? So your decision variable here, guys, if you understand your decision variable, if you understand in this problem, your decision variable, they're talking about two products. They're talking about product A and product B. Yes or no? They're talking two product A and B per week. So let X1 is the unit of product A manufactured per week. Let X1 is the unit of product A manufactured per week. Let is the unit of product A manufactured per week, and let X2 is the unit of product B. Let X2 is the unit of product B manufactured per week. Clear, everyone? This is your decision variable, manufactured per week. So this is your decision variable. Your decision variables are X1 and X2. X1 is the unit of product A which you are manufacturing per week, and X2 is the unit of product B which you are manufacturing per week. Your objective function here is to maximize the profit. Clear, everyone? Clear? Anyone, any doubt? Can I go ahead? So, okay, then then what the product is processed in same machine, then what they are given, guys. If I see the table, if I draw the table, if I draw the table of product A and product B, if I draw the table of product A and product B, so the first processing time, the first thing what I'll take is processing time. If I talk in the term of processing time, then it is given 10 minutes for product A and 2 minutes for product B. Okay, and the total is given to you is 2100 minutes. Correct? Fine. Then what is given? Then what else is given? Product raw material. Raw material. What is the data of raw material? The data of raw material is product A require 1 kg and product B require 0.5 kg, and the maximum you have is 600 kg. Clear, everyone? Any doubt till now, anyone? Any doubt, anyone? Fine. Then what is given else? Market constraint on B, that you have to minimum manufacture 800 unit of B. That the B should be minimum 800 unit. It is given minimum you have to manufacture 800 units of B. Then product A cost 5 rupees, sold at 10 rupees. So if I talk about A and B, so if I talk about A and B, the cost price of cost of a product A cost 5 rupees per unit, sold at 10 rupees per unit. So product A costs 5 rupees per unit and it is sold at 10 rupees per unit. And product B costs 6 rupees, sold at 8 rupees. Product B costs 6 rupees and is sold at 8 rupees. And because you study so much accounts, you know that you can easily calculate the profit by selling price minus cost price. So the profit on 1 unit of product A, that would be 10 minus 5. Profit on 1 unit of product B, that would be 8 minus 2, means 2 rupees. Clear, everyone? You know, right? Profit is selling price minus cost price. Clear, everyone? So what are my decision variable? My decision variable is basically the X1 unit of product A that I'm manufacturing per week, and my decision variable is X2 unit of product B which I'm manufacturing per week. Clear, everyone? So again, I read my question, I'll see everything. What is my objective function? My objective function is to maximize my profit. So I'll write my objective function. What is my objective function? I want to maximize Z, where X1 is a unit of product A what I'm manufacturing, X2 is the unit of product B I'm manufacturing. On 1 unit of A, I'm getting 5 rupees profit. On 1 unit of B, I'm getting 2 rupees profit. So my objective function will be maximum of Z is equal to 5x1 plus 2x2. This is my objective function. Subject to constraint, what all constraint I have? Subject to constraint, what all constraint I have, guys? The first constraint what I have is the processing time. Total processing time given to me is 35 hours. 35 hours is 2100 minutes. And per week, when I see my constraint, so 1 unit is taking 10 minutes. The product B is taking 2 minutes. and the total time is 2100 minutes. So it means the equation is what? 10x1 plus 2x2, that is processing time, that is 2100 minutes. Maximum you are getting 2100. Can you understand this equation? Constraint, second equation, 1 unit 1 kg and the product B 0.5 kg. So what would be your equation? X1 plus 0.5 X2, the maximum you are getting is 600 kg. Can you understand this equation, guys? Any doubt, anyone? So the same thing I can write as subject to constraint 10x1 plus 2x2 is less than or equal to 2100. In bracket, if you want, you write processing time constraint. Second equation, x1 plus 0.5 x2 is less than or equal to 600. In bracket, you can write raw material constraint. So here in bracket, you write processing time constraint, processing time constraint. Here in bracket, you write raw material constraint, raw material constraint. Clear, everyone? Anyone, any doubt? It is given that minimum you need to manufacture 800 units of A. It is given in the question, minimum you need to manufacture 800 units of A. Sorry, 800 units of B. Minimum you need to manufacture 800 units of B. Minimum you need to manufacture 800 units of B. Minimum you need to manufacture 800 units of B. It is given in the question. Product B is known to be minimum of 800 units per week. Then you write your non-negativity restriction. Your non-negativity restriction would be how much? Non-negativity restriction. So that if you write, so your x1, your x2 should be greater than or equal to 0. What Manoj is asking, what is x2, Manoj? Manoj, x1, x2 already I defined in the beginning, Manoj. X1 is the unit of product A which I'm manufacturing per week. X2 is the unit of product B which I'm manufacturing per week. It is given, Manoj, in the question that market constraint on B is known to minimum of 800 unit per week. That whatever B you are manufacturing, you cannot manufacture less than 800 units. It is given in the question that the market constraint on product B is known to be minimum of 800 units. So in the market, they cannot be less than 800 units of B. In the market, there should be minimum 800 units in the market. It is greater than or equal to minus, not greater than. That should be minimum 800 units. Clear, everyone? Can we go to the next question? So you read the question once more, see that if you have not missed anything. A company manufactured two products A and B. These products are processed in the same machine. It takes 10 minutes to process 1 unit of product A and 2 minutes to process 1 unit of product B, and the machine operates for maximum 35 hours in a week. The product A require 1 kg and product B require 0.5 kg of raw material per week, supply of which Bindushri, supply of which is of 600 kg per week. Market constraint on product B is known to be minimum of 800 units per week. Product A cost 5 rupees and sold at 10 rupees. Product B cost 6 rupees and sold at 8 rupees. Determine the number of units of A and B which you manufacture per week to maximize the profit. Manoj, you already studied all this in your BCA. I understood, Manoj. Hmm. Clear, everyone? Can we go ahead? Fine, guys. So, serious question, everyone. Anyone? Now, see this problem number 4. Suppose I'm running some organic farming business. Maybe suppose I'm doing some organic farming business, and for that I need some fertilizers. So I need 10 units of A, 12 units of B, and 12 units of C for my garden. Okay, and this chemical, no, what I'm looking for, chemical A, B, and C. Minimum I need 10 units, 12 units, and 12 units of A, B, and C. You know that much I'm looking for a chemical of A, B, C. With product which contain these many units of A, B, and C, and there's a dye contain these many units of A, B, and C. Okay, and minimum what I'm looking for is 10, 12, 12. Okay, so here if I write in equation, so there's a liquid product, and then there's a dry product. There's a liquid product, then there's a dry product. Okay, so what I'm looking for, I'm looking for chemical A, B, and C. Maybe they are fertilizers. You know that, right? In biology, you studied micronutrients, macronutrients. For your plant production, you need lot of micro and macronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, manganese, cobalt. There are lot of nutrients are there which your plants should get. Otherwise, the leaves will turn yellow. Okay, wrinkleness will comes. So to avoid all that, what we do, either the soil should be productive. If the soil is not productive, you need to put fertilizers. The purpose of putting fertilizers is to make sure they get the required nitrogen, because nitrogen is the building block of life. So they should get the required nitrogen or manganese or cobalt, any other minerals what they're looking for. So there basically maybe there are two forms of fertilizers. We have dye product and liquid product, what we can see. So this person required 10 unit and 10 unit of A, 12 unit of B, and 12 unit of C. So minimum for his crops, minimum for his crop, minimum. What is the requirement? What is the requirement for the crop? So the requirement, for his crop, 1 minute. Yeah. So the requirement for his crop is 10 unit, 12 unit, and 12 unit. Okay, then you have these requirement. What you are getting from two kinds of product: liquid product and dry product. Liquid product is giving you 5, 2, and 1 unit of A, B, and C. 5, 2, and 1 unit of A, B, and C. Okay, if you buy liquid product, so one liquid product contain 5 unit of A, 2 unit of B, 1 unit of C. Similarly, if you buy dry product, you will get 1, 2, and 4 units. You will get 1, 2, and 4 unit of A, B, and C. I hope you understood this. Okay, is given if the liquid product is sold for 3 rupees per jar. So if you want to buy liquid product, the cost what you need to pay is 3 rupees. So liquid product 3 rupees, liquid product cost is 3 rupees. It is 3 rupees per jar. And the dry product, it cost is given to you rupees per carton, and dry product is 2 rupees per carton. So that data is given to you. You're buying them for your crop. So my decision variable would, let I manufacture X1 unit of liquid product, X1 jar of liquid product, and X2 cartons of dry product. Okay, so how many units of each product should be purchased in order to minimize the total cost and meet the requirement? Clear, everyone? This is the question. Any doubt, anyone? Anyone, any doubt? Clear, everyone? Anyone have doubt? Okay, so suppose for my farm or for my organic farming purpose, I need these chemicals. Okay, so if I get more than 10, 12 and 12 units of chemical, that is fine for me, but I should not get lesser than this. I hope you're understanding. When you put fertilizers or if you're putting chemical, okay, suppose your body require, like it's saying that you should eat that much protein, which should be equal to minimum of 10% of your body weight. That much mg, that much gram, not mg, maybe gram, I think gram or milligram, not sure. That many grams of protein you should consume. So if my weight is 90 kg, so minimum 9 gram of protein I should eat. So when I'm saying 9 gram of protein I should eat, it doesn't mean that I should eat 9 gram or less than 9 gram. Here, whenever you consult any doctor, if they're saying that whatever is your 10 minimum 10% of that food of your weight you need to eat protein. So what that mean? That mean the when you are consuming protein, that should be either minimum of 10% of your weight gram or below, more than also if you are eating, then it's also fine. So you need to understand here. So minimum, this is your requirement. So minimum this much grams, sorry, minimum this many units of A, B, and C you should get. And for liquid product, 1 unit of liquid product is costing 3 rupees per jar, and for 1 unit of dye product costing you 2 rupees per carton. So let my objective function, when if I'm defining my objective function, before that if I decide my decision variable, so my decision variable is, let x1 is equal to number of jar of liquid product which is purchased. Data is not given for time period. So number of jar of liquid product which is purchased per week or per month or per year. They are not given the time period. And X2 is the number of cartons. X2 is the number of cartons of dry product. X2 is the number of cartons of dry product which is purchased. What I want to minimize my cost, right? So what I'll write, my objective function minima of z is equal to 3x1 plus 2x2, 3x1 plus 2x2 subject to constraint. When I write the constraint, subject to constraint, subject to constraint, constraint, what all constraint I am having, that for A you need minimum 10 unit, and for liquid product you are getting 5 unit, and for dry product you are getting 1 unit. So x1 plus 2x2, x1 plus x2, that should be greater than or equal to 10 unit. Second equation will be 2x1 plus 2x2, that should be greater than or equal to 12 unit, minimum 12 unit or more than that. And the third equation will be x1 plus 4x2 is greater than or equal to 12 unit. That's it. Anything else? Anything else, guys? Very simple problem. Very simple problem. So then you write your non-negativity restriction. Your non-negativity restriction, that x1 and x2 what you're manufacturing, what you're buying, not manufacturing. Here you're buying, no. So you are not manufacturing anything by yourself. You are not a manufacturer in this case. You are someone who is running organic farming or something. So x1 and x2 what you are what you are buying should be equal to 0 or more than 0. This is called non-negativity restriction. Clear, everyone? Then everyone. Done everyone? Anyone, any doubt? So, so how satisfied with you are you with this class, OR classes, guys? Are you people understanding what we are doing? Is this easy or not? Are you people understanding? Any doubt, anyone? Are you happy, everyone? Are you feeling satisfied? Do you think your life is giving some worth? Are you happy with yourself? Okay, everyone. So this much from today class. Okay, so I believe Rajendra is happy. I don't know about others. Pavitra is happy or not. Akriti is happy or not. Basit is happy. Ali Muhammad. Ali Muhammad is there with new phone. Chandana is there. Oh, Chiranjeevi is there. All twins are here in class. Dev, Dilip, Ganesh, Gangu, Gautam is there. Hemant is there. Karthik, Kavya, Mahindra, Manjunath, Manoj, Mohan, Narendra. Everyone is there today. Pooja Shri, Pradeep, Prajwal, Pratibha, Raghavendra, Rajendra, Ravi Kumar Yadav, Satish Kumar Yadav, Sonika, Tejasvi, Vandana, Vinay. I hope you people are satisfied, happy with classes. So this much we'll do in this class. We'll continue our class tomorrow. Everyone take care of yourself. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you everyone. Tomorrow. Bye.